Hey everyone, welcome to this video. I am excited to do this one. I got my little boys here, 7 years old already. But this video is going to be this video is going to be dedicated on tips on parenting your child or children with autism. So I'm excited to do this. I wanted to just feature them in because these are my little twins. And yeah, I'm gonna give you guys little tips. I made this presentation myself, so let's start. Yay! Okay, so as you see here in the opening slide, tips on parenting your child with Autism Spectrum Disorder. And these are tips. When I made this presentation, I just discussed these topics with my wife for first-hand experience with the twins. And also tips online and even through a resource that's with this state. I'll go over that later on. But these are our tips on the behaviors and meltdowns to help with the challenges for you and your family. So next slide is investigate, investigate, and investigate. And this goes for children, children that are general, neurotypical, any other disabilities, ADHD, always have to investigate. First point, figure out what's the source of their meltdowns and challenges. That's really important. Don't just ask open-ended questions. Sometimes you want to ask closed questions, saying, why are you sad? You could just say, is something wrong? Can we make this better? Things like that generally have them open up. If they're non-verbal, you could always, be more attentive, have more things that are visual for them to be able to communicate with you. But just finding out that source is important. And that leads to the fact that the acceptance key is important. Accept the fact that meltdowns will happen, because they will happen. You have to have a lot of patience. And the individuals or children with familiarity and comfort outside can help prevent triggers for outdoor meltdowns. So if they're just overstimulated with noise or with a lot of environment happening, different things, try to have something with them that brings them comfort at home. My wife brought up a good point that having, a tablet, having a stuffed animal, a little fidget toy, whatever it is, it will be good for them to take them out, whether you're going to go to an appointment or whether they're going to, school or a family outing, whatever it is. Make sure you do limit the exposure of this item that you give them to give them comfort during an outdoor meltdown, just because you want them to be fascinated by it. You want it to pique their interest. Research social experiences or tips online that are correlated to your challenges. Again, research is beautiful. Investigate. Don't tire out. Through time, there can be changes in the triggers of your child's meltdowns. And that's beautiful, because when you're on parent mode and you're going through the same challenge, sometimes you just surrender to what is and you just give up. You feel like it's going to happen again. But just have that optimistic approach. Just say, hey, today might be a new day. We might get through a breakthrough. Sensory toys, gear, and accessories. Certain items such as compression vests, heavy blankets, sacks, and more that offer great support and soothing stimulation. Every child's different, of course, so for my sons, having the sacks we thought was going to help them to stretch and pull and push, but that didn't really help them. It just kind of helped isolate them, because obviously they're all covered. So, whatever your child preference is, try to have certain sensory items like that and accessories. Sensory toys work so well. Limit the exposure of play though. So I got ahead of myself, I wrote it there, for outdoor meltdowns and indoor. Noise canceling headphones are great if your child has challenges with noise indoors or outdoors. and that was huge for my sons. My boys were born on the 4th of July, and one of my sons, he pretty much didn't like his birth date because he hated fireworks. He hated the element of surprise. He's scared of fire. He doesn't know how things work at the time. So the noise canceling headphones made him feel safe. It made him feel like if there was a barrier around him. So it goes a long way. And even for dogs too, when dogs just bark, my boys were afraid of dogs. They were terrified. That's a whole nother story. But they would just like scream, and we had to carry them, 2 arms. It was crazy. WrestleMania style. Okay. Have some materials for at home and for outside. So the tablet obviously is like indoor mostly, but again, the exposure, it's all about having things designated. So just to draw them in. Create structure for their time and your time. And this, I think I mentioned this in a lot of my videos, that me time is important. Figure out and create a schedule that works best for your time as a family time and time with your partner or with yourself. It could be daily, weekdays, weekends, as you see. Just make sure you get organized, take time out, invest energy. I know you're tired. You know, the challenges are extra for some of us, right? But just getting a structure, you know, you can do a device, a calendar, you can actually write it, whatever is better for you, will go a long way. And alarms as well, alerts, reminders. Journaling, venting can be great for noticing areas of improvement in your structure. I slack with journaling, so just with doing that, that's helped me, and it's gave me ideas in discussion with my wife, as far as like cultivating a structure to just boost and maximize, you know, our duties as parents and just having time for ourselves, our responsibilities, etc. And create a schedule for your child. Visuals, I should have wrote highly recommended because they are high. It can gain even confidence and independence. So your child could boost their morale so well. We have visuals. We'll be more than happy to actually post those up. So if you haven't, follow my Rebirths Illuminates on my social media, because I will post them at a certain point after posting this video. It's beautiful. We have charts for behaviors. We have green checks. We have red X's. Some of you parents might relate to that. I have what's called the big boy chart. So that's like, ooh, like I'm gonna do the best duties ever. Like I'm gonna make my mommy and daddy proud. So we have a little drawing of, 5 slots. 1 slot is a little drawing of stickers, TV, treats, toys, etc. Have like, a structure where, they get the gold star and they get achievements. We have one for hydrating, because they'll forget to hydrate. So we give them stickers when they drink about 8 ounces a day, 16 ounces between those 2 ounces, I'll say. And it goes on. So those are definitely good. A nice, beautiful schedule. We also have it printed out, laminated with Velcro. A lot of schools do that to help them with the schedule, with the needs and the chores they need to do. That all boosts confidence in them. They'll help remember, and even if they don't say it, depending on the spectrum, right? They'll probably feel like, man, like I'm making mommy proud. Like, they'll feel that accomplishment. A time for peace and calm. That's me. I said it so much with my breathwork stuff, but just having a quiet space created where there are no plans and your child or children can relax with stimulating activities. So you can have sensory toys, you can have crafts. My wife called the boys' time quiet time. And we put out a nice quilt, and we have their fidgets and their quiet time toys just for that. But they even have Christmas fidget toys. We had a advent calendar of fidget toys for them last year, and this is for quiet time during the Christmas season only. So the exposure comes a great way because, you know, I might be getting ahead of myself in the presentation, but when you need that break, that me time, or that couples time, you just pull this out and it would buy you some time, you know? And if they're just at a high level, high energy, they're in it, they're laughing, they're throwing, whatever it is, let's do quiet time, guys. Let's bring it back down. You know, visuals, you know, you talk with your hands with them. Introduce yoga wellness practices to your child. And that's a great one. You know, when I do my breathwork stuff, sometimes I'll write templates and sometimes I lay down and I breathe just so I can have things come to me to just write stuff down for other clients. And I invite them and they lay down and they're just laying there. At first they're smiling, but they get totally relaxed and they escape. So it'll be beautiful. And there's different channels on YouTube where they incorporate fun, you know, characters and themes and all that. Research grounding skills and self-compassion practices to do together. Again, you know, you want to get different skills. Children like to get their hands dirty. One of my sons does not like to get his hands dirty. He did not like finger painting as a toddler. The other one does. So they're twins and they're different. Everybody's different. But, you know, different practices, you know, hugging themselves, cuddling with something, different things like that. It's beautiful. Get immersed in nature. Nature trails, parks, open land, lakes, ponds. Keep in mind to plan out time of day and areas with less crowds, of course, depending on your child's needs. If they're not a fan of going out, then you could always just have them to where it's just literally outside your porch, or if you have your own yard, if you have a balcony, like an apartment, whatever it is, you know, get them breathing fresh air. And also, with that too, I almost forgot, also plan, like if it's maybe too hot, they probably won't even say that to you, but maybe they're not fans of heat and you want to take them out, you know, different times where the temperature levels are to their preference. Deep breathing. I love deep breathing. And with different resources like the Autism Society of North Carolina, and other more official and credentialed people that talk about, you know, different ways to just get yourself relaxed and to help you and advocate for parents. Deep breathing is on that list. So this is why I felt the magic with breathwork. It's magic. You know, you detect when you aren't breathing properly. It's one of the biggest things. So hyperventilation, upper breathing, you know, tension in your body as you're breathing, that compresses your muscles. It's a big deal. Lowers anxiety levels when you do the deep breathing. You know, you open the airways up, you're calm, you're breathing with your deep belly breath. You know, you're taking deep breaths in. And just by breathing deep breaths, you'll have better energy levels. Muscle relaxation, reducing tension, as I stated. Wake up well rested. Lower stress hormones, gaining clarity and releasing heavy emotions, improved brain function and digestion throughout the day, and it boosts immunity. With all that happening, you're boosting your immunity and you're slowing down cellular metabolism. So that is a great thing. I highly recommend it. I'm a big advocate for that, as you already know my stuff. So keep that in focus when you're just witnessing a meltdown and you don't have control. It's okay to not have control. Breathe. A reward system. Okay, I already mentioned that with the charts. You know, create checklists and charts to motivate your child or children to strive. As I said, visuals of the rewards per day or per achievement helps. You can remind your child of the rewards system in chance of alleviating meltdowns, and this has helped us. I have witnessed it personally. When you point to that and they actually follow you and they look at that chart and you're showing them, you have this, let's breathe, let's get to green zone, lazy 8 breaths, whatever it is you tell your child, that could help them. It could help deter them from that, like, that mode where they just focus and it's just growing, you know? You can have a system for different parts of their lives. School, you know, you have a system for that, for motivation. Scary medical visits, we have that big time, and that has helped them because they're not fans of needles. Achievements as well. Parents, learn to say no. And this, it's a whole big topic, but when you refine your priorities as life changes, that helps you so much, because life does change. The needs of your children change. Things change in general. So sometimes if you were available for something, if you were partaking into something, and you're not anymore, it's going to affect you, you know, if you just put that pressure on yourself to just keep everything happening while advocating for your children. Develop boundaries that work best for you. Again, you're learning to say no to plans. You're learning to say no to different, you know, peer pressure, whatever it is you have on your plate. Just have those boundaries there and speak respectfully. Frustrations will happen. Notice if the balance is off. Of course, you know, self-reflect and just be observant and avoid unnecessary stress, as stated. Stress is expected, but not excessively. This is another point that I loved that the Autism Society of North Carolina has mentioned in their presentation to our parents. They mentioned that stress is gonna happen, and it's so true. Discomfort is gonna happen, and that's okay. We are meant to surpass things, and things are meant to fluctuate. Nothing could be perfect. But you create a mindset where you're in control, right? You create a mindset where you're establishing a way to that was one of my kids. You're establishing a way to say, what can I do to make this better? Maybe I can't do nothing and I just gotta deal with it, you know? Creating an environment to recharge. Again, that's with taking it back to the relaxation part, the taking it nice and easy part. You recharge, you know, and that helps you to minimize, like, over stressing the stress itself. Practice mindfulness techniques for mental and emotional wellness. Be assertive and compromise after a situation. So you want to just get past it. What can I do to get past this? What can I do to make this better? If sometimes you got to deal with some things to make it work, you compromise, you know? And acceptance and change. It's beautiful. When you have acceptance in everything, it's amazing. But acceptance and change, whether it's with plans, people, deadlines, even ourselves, we're going to just be at a point where we're like, okay, that happened, that changed, what am I doing now? And that's a beautiful discipline to have. I've gotten better with that. I was a mess before. Role play goes a long way. Role playing can be a visual aid and can help in the following scenarios. Of course, depending on, you know, your experience, the child's experience. You can use characters they're fans of. You know, my wife started this. She would do comparisons to put a nice pressure there, a nice gentle pressure. Thomas, the tank engine, is their favorite. So Thomas is brave. Thomas was afraid at this point, but then he got brave and he surpassed this, you know. You explain that, you motivate them to get through things. Whether it's for any scary upcoming appointments, we got through that a long way. You have some cartoons, depending on your child's age range. Daniel Tiger, Arthur, I think too. Different cartoons, they show, like, you know, doctor's visits, and they like role play, like to help you. Elmo, but in the last video, the autism, Elmo's a bad example, my wife said. But those are good points to do. And past traumatic experiences for your child to help them understand it is in the past. So again, if something happens scary, you want to just role play like, hey, that happened, but now you're brave. Look, now you're better because this happened. Now you're safe because you did this. All of that helps. Just coaching them, you know. And might be common sense to you, but to others it might not be, you know. Explaining why an uncomfortable experience was necessary. If a verbal explanation appears to be confusing. Explaining the benefits to doing something they're not a fan of, eating a certain food, following a schedule or a set of rules. So with all these examples, you know, as you role play, you're gonna get them through all these different instances and scenarios. And visuals. Visuals, visuals, visuals. That's what ASD is all about, visuals. As we discussed before, visuals can benefit you and your child or children. Visuals can give them clarity and they can gain confidence through understanding. No matter how much times they say, I forgot, I forget, it's okay. But visuals actually help them to remember and they feel so accomplished when they do things on their own especially. It can reduce complicated times and potentially trigger less meltdowns. Visuals are the best. I highly recommend it. Again, I will post the visual boards that we have that we created ourselves with just regular printer paper and Sharpies and different markers. Medication isn't permanent. And here where it gets tricky because you know, medication, it's a broad subject. It has a lot of different meanings and feelings and all these things. This was another topic that's come up with the Autism Society parental support groups. So just going off the list, it can help your child while they're struggling with their challenges causing meltdowns. It can help them absorb their therapies and treatment plans. And it does help them. You know, there are different medications that can actually not have them. It pertains to their needs, so it won't have them like the stereotypes, whether you feel they're just drugged or they're just like really dazed and just out of it and all these different things. There are medications, times, you know, have changed and there are things better for children, whether it's ADHD, different tendencies and traits your child has, or if it's maybe anxiety or depression, different things like this, eating disorders. It could help them absorb the therapies that they need to actually hear and understand better. Research behavior doctors, and that's a big one. If you could find a behavior doctor that's also their primary care provider, that is 2 birds in 1 stone. But behavior doctors, they can answer any of your questions. Anything you were taught or you have witnessed growing up. You know, I was afraid of medications. I have thoughts about medications, but just, you know, doing your own research and building your awareness, you learn new different things. They can slowly stop taking certain medications as they make progress and are doing better. So some medications, again, I am not a certified, you know, medical provider. I do not have a doctorate degree. You know, I'm not saying everything I know and I know it, but from what I've seen online, from what I heard, you can slowly taper down some medications. So some medications is not permanent, but they registered their teachings and now they gotta work harder, and you have that in your mind. Now that we're tapering off medication out of his system or her system or their system, we're going to have to apply more to them, apply more learning and visuals and reinforcement, etc. We all have different beliefs, concerns, and experiences when hearing talk about medications, medications can have a benefit to your child. Every child is unique and has their own life story. Consult with your child's pediatrician or behavior doctor to learn more. Many families have their preferences and strategies in handling meltdowns. Share your feelings with their doctor and your child's story to see what's the best plan for your child. Really advocate for your child. If you feel like that provider is not hearing you, if they're not understanding what you're saying with your concerns and your testimony, try someone else. But really try your best for your child, and don't just get rid of medication off the table so fast. And here's additional tips that I have here. So the additional tip number 1, research organizations that advocate for special needs and services for them and for you. And some that I like to share based on my experience and my wife's with our sons is respite care. Respite care pretty much are sitters that could watch your child with disabilities. Therapies, you have CBT, you have speech, you have occupational, and different caseworkers, you know. So if you have an alliance organization, you can have caseworkers there, you can have coordinators there for your child and for you, to support you in different developmental therapies and programs and practices. Take up physical activities or therapies for them or yourself. That burns energy, that increases appetite, that helps the body so much when you get things moving, and you eat greens and you eat nice clean different fresh foods. You know, you can have treats, you can have stuff, but get some clean foods in. Meditation, exercise, nature walks, hiking, counseling, it goes on. But try to find some nice modalities, try to find some nice practices you could do. And relaxation is not being lazy. Can't stress that enough. We felt guilty, we still feel guilty. You cannot feel guilty. I demand you don't feel guilty, because they need you. They need you there. And relaxation techniques and laughter is the best. Do a fake laugh. My breathwork trainer, he does a beautiful Hollywood laugh, and that helps him to get, different energy flow out and just release tension in the body. It's beautiful. Laugh with your children, make funny, goofy jokes, make memories, make inside jokes. Swinging or rocking can really go a long way. It's a beautiful sensory thing. Get enough rest at night. Of course, that's beautiful to have beautiful rest at night. It's really important as well. Plays a huge impact, as well as hydrating with regular purified water. That is the best you could do for your body. And that concludes my presentation. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my humble advice, as well as different resources as stated in the video. And even, my wife helped me out with this presentation, with the knowledge, the info as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do appreciate this presentation video, give me a like. I really hope you could help me out with that. And subscribe to my channel. I got some different interesting stuff coming along. So yeah, that's everything, guys. Hey guys, you wanna... Come on, guys. So, say bye to them and happy holidays!
Hey, happy holidays!
Bye, everyone. Take care. Enjoy your holiday time. Bye.
Sorry. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas! Ho, 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 ho.